Only so many NFL quarterbacks get to win MVPs in their careers. Only so many get to win a Super Bowl. Very few get to say they've won both. So how about the quarterbacks that won an MVP but never a Super Bowl? I'm Justin Fraction, and today we count down the 10 best MVP-winning QBs that never won the big one. And a big shout out to Sports King of the World for suggesting this video. Number 10, Brian Sipe. Sipe won the 1980 NFL MVP with the Cleveland Browns of all teams, can you believe it? He tossed 30 touchdowns and 14 interceptions to go with his 4,132 passing yards. But in typical Cleveland sports fashion, they messed up when it mattered most. Sipe threw a last-minute red zone interception against the Oakland Raiders in the AFC divisional round. Sadly, Sipe wouldn't recover from that mistake and never came close to winning a Super Bowl after that. Number 9, Burt Jones. He didn't have the greatest NFL career for someone you'd expect to win an MVP award. He had 124 touchdowns to go along with 101 interceptions. But 1976 was something else for Jones, as he led the Baltimore Colts to an AFC East title. He had 3,104 yards and 24 touchdowns that season, winning league MVP. But in the playoffs, the Pittsburgh Steelers throttled Baltimore 40-14. 1976 was also the only year Jones made it to the Pro Bowl. Number 8, John Brodie. Before the legend of Joe Montana in San Francisco, there was Mr. John Brodie, the quarterback of the 49ers for 17 years. In 1970, Brodie won his only MVP award, tossing 2,941 yards and 24 touchdowns. It was the first time San Fran won a divisional title, but the Dallas Cowboys beat them in the conference title game. Brodie was a consistent QB for most of his career, but never won a Super Bowl after coming so close that one year. Number 7, Roman Gabriel. Gabriel was the LA Rams quarterback for 11 NFL seasons, but his best year was 1969, when he took home the league MVP after throwing 2,549 yards and 24 touchdowns. The Rams won the Coastal Division with an 11-3 record, but the Minnesota Vikings beat them 23-20 in the divisional playoff round. And as you probably figured out, he never won a Super Bowl despite reaching 4 Pro Bowls in his career. Number 6, Steve McNair. McNair was a 3-time Pro Bowler who actually shared the 2003 MVP award with Indianapolis Colts quarterback Peyton Manning. That year, McNair had 3,215 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, and just 7 picks. However, his Tennessee Titans lost to the New England Patriots in the 2003 divisional round. McNair did lead his Titans to an appearance in Super Bowl 34, but they were 1 yard short of forcing overtime. Sadly, McNair never won the title he deserved. Number 5, Ken Anderson. No, we are not talking about the wrestler. This Ken Anderson quarterbacked the Cincinnati Bengals from 1971 to 86 and enjoyed a stellar career. He threw 32,838 passing yards and 197 touchdowns against 160 interceptions. The 4-time Pro Bowler won the 1981 NFL MVP, throwing for 3,754 yards and 29 touchdowns. Sadly, his best shot at a Super Bowl came when they faced the 49ers in Super Bowl 16. San Francisco would win, and Anderson never won a Super Bowl as a quarterback. He did win one as a coach with the Pittsburgh Steelers, however. Number 4, Rich Gannon. Well, Rich Gannon had a great career with some forgetful memories. His Raiders lost out on a possible chance to reach Super Bowl 36 because of the tuck rule. Then they reached Super Bowl 37, but they were crushed by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Well, Gannon did win the 2002 league MVP, throwing for 4,689 yards and 26 touchdowns against just 10 picks. But yeah, that was the same season his team got crushed by the Bucs and their former coach John Gruden in the Super Bowl. Gannon only played 2 more seasons in the NFL, none resulting in a title. Number 3, Boomer Esiason. The guy you know best on CBS's NFL crew was an accomplished quarterback in his career. The Bengals quarterback won the 1988 NFL MVP, tossing 3,572 yards and 28 touchdowns. Sadly for Esiason, his Bengals defense allowed Joe Montana to go on a clutch game-winning drive in the Super Bowl, and it prevented the Cincinnati legend from ever winning a Super Bowl. Not even 37,920 career passing yards and 247 touchdowns was enough to give Esiason a title. Number 2, Fran Tarkenton. Some consider him the greatest Minnesota Vikings QB to ever live. Tarkenton reached 9 Pro Bowls and he had 47,003 career passing yards and 342 touchdowns. Tarkenton led the Vikings to 3 Super Bowl appearances, but none resulted in a championship for the Purple Squad. Tarkenton would win the 1975 MVP award, completing 64.2% of his passes for 2,994 yards and 25 touchdowns. Number 1, Dan Marino. Marino would widely be considered the best quarterback of all time if he had 1 or 2 Super Bowl rings. He's easily the best quarterback to never hoist the trophy. Marino reached 9 Pro Bowls and amassed 61,361 passing yards and 420 touchdowns during his career. Amazingly, he only won the NFL MVP once in 1984. That year, he then set single-season records of passing yards, 5,084, and touchdowns, 48. But his Dolphins were dominated by the 49ers in the Super Bowl. Marino never won his ring, but at least he took home the MVP hardware. Who do you think is the best QB to never win a Super Bowl? Join us in the comments below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps us out a ton and we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to Total Pro Sports though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.